Alrighty. Oh, let's fix that. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Undermountain, our epic dungeon delving adventure here on Javelin Entertainment, where we'll be streaming the story every Thursday, starting around 6:30 Central. And if you missed the last chapter, you can find it on the channel page or by clicking on the playlist link in the description. Last time, our adventurers decided to take a long rest, and Zella slept through her watch. Unexcited about the prospect of swimming into the river again, the party discussed how to get to the boat, proposing ideas such as Zannah towing them in shark form, crafting paddles out of hydra bones, and using a spiritual weapon paddle. Eventually, they decided to send Zannah over in shark form to get the boat, but the boat turned out to be a mimic and attacked her. Kha'narique approached the shore and launched magical bolts from her dagger, happily killing the creature, and the party moved up the shore and found another boat. The party's old makeshift boat that they had left on the shores when they had originally arrived in Willowwood. Zannah polymorphed Ari into a giant shark to tow the boat, and as they headed up into the tunnels, they saw some drow that passed them by. Kha'narique looked around for others to wave to and found some, but they launched an ambush as they waved back. Nearly everyone was affected by the drow's poisonous attacks, and Kha'narique and Zannah were both knocked unconscious. Ari was shifted back into his human form and began to walk up the cliffs to attack the drow directly. The fight was back and forth as the party got hit with poison, but Seren gave the group an aura of purity to fight against it. The drow also tried to bring out darkness, but Ari summoned light to dispel it. Kha'narique tried persuading the drow, but one of the drow spurred them on in their attack, and with her sprite, she was able to shoot the drow and cause it to fall off the ledge into the water to punctuate her point instead. Now the battle continues to wage onward, and the drow must decide if they want to listen to her proposal. And so we find you all on the shores here, engaged in a battle. And let's pull you over to the right map. Alrighty. And it looks like we left off with the Quaggoth's turn. So we will start with them. And they are still both currently wrapped around Kha'narique and focused on her. And so they will give 2 attacks each. All right, and both of the first ones miss. Oh, let me skip this and get the and you're at a 15 or 16. Where's my sheet? That's fine. Ooh, that's 1 hit and 1 miss. So only one of the attacks hits Kha'narique, and that will deal a total of 7 points of slashing damage. And currently, oh goodness, that whole thing freaked out on me for a second. So as it carves into Kha'narique, let's take a look over, and the drow, at least for a moment, seem to be caught off guard as their leader has kind of fallen into the water. And for a moment, you kind of catch them. Let's see how many of them. Ooh, you catch quite a few of them off guard. And only one of them responds. And so there'll be 1 attack against Kha'narique, which does hit, actually. Oh, I always forget that I have this one mapped. Oh, goodness. So you will take 8 points of piercing damage, Kha'narique, and if I can get you to make a Constitution saving throw. All right, and that is enough. So just the 8 points of piercing, and then it will be Seren's turn. You're right off the bat, Andrew. Because that's when the boat moves downstream. Yes, she does. the aura. Correct. No, all good. It's crazy to be a full caster. Everybody knows this. Hmm. Okay. All right, and that's a Constitution saving throw. Uh, no. Would you like to change it to be the one that shot you? All right. So Seren just kind of spins around as this attack goes and just sends this ray of black energy that wraps around the body and just pulls all of the moisture out as this person is completely eviscerated and just a shriveled husk just falls down to the ground. Can you have Seren roll me an intimidation check, please? That is a little bit scary. Well, so Seren kind of sends out this ray and then immediately sort of ducks down into the boat. Not exactly the form of intimidation, but still a bit. Unfortunately, it seems that in this mix, the elites have not been persuaded. At least not yet. All right. There is an X on him. It's down here, but it's there. E. Alrighty. And then, so the one in front of you, let's see, do they have anything to deal with that? Does not look like it. So yeah, he's just going to try 2 attacks onto you, Ari. And it is, I don't think so, not with this one. So yes, daylight does not give them daylight. The spell does not give them does not work. I think it's the one up from that. But regardless, neither of the short sword attacks that it uses manages to make it through your armor, and you also just hear the ting of a crossbow bolt that glances off as well. And Zannah, you also get an attack. And what's the as you're just moving through the waves quickly in the elemental form, the bolt just passes straight through the water. And then the other gunslinger, seeing Kha'narique knock one of them off into the water. We'll go ahead and make an attack onto Kha'narique. Oh goodness. So Kha'narique, you're going to take 15 points of piercing damage and 11 points of poison damage, as there is just a shot straight into your back as you were focused on the one that went into the water, and you spin around to see another on the point. And let's see. Yeah. Without much trouble, the other drow does pop out of the water, but is still in the water trying to swim at the current moment. And with that, everyone in the boat does shift down slightly. And let me fix those guys. No, it wouldn't. I just accidentally. Nope, I just grabbed like everything because the boat's giant. All right, Zella, you are up. Alrighty. You're poisoned, if you're wondering why it's at disadvantage. All right, and you're aiming at the one in the water? Alrighty. So unfortunately, while he's in the water, all three of those do miss, one just barely. Anything else you'd like to do? Alrighty, then we get to Zannah. Sure, give me an athletics check. Water elemental. Probably just uses their strength. Okay, so as you do this, you kind of move up to the front and you kind of grab the edge of the boat, and at first your water form just kind of crashes over it, and you end up like on top of the Quaggoth in part, and you do stop the boat, at least the front of the boat, but now the boat seems to be spinning and turning sideways. Alrighty. You're like right next to the Quaggoth, yeah. You're like half on top of him. That is, let's see. Does it normally associate a saving throw? What is the saving throw? Strength saving throw. Okay, let's see. Oh, that's a 14. He is indeed in your space. All right, roll me 2d8 plus 4. Nice. Yep. So it's automatically grappled, and then it tries to escape, then it will need a DC 14. All right, it is grappled by you. Awesome. Anything else? Because that was all, I guess it was your action to try and stop the boat, and then that happened. You're good with the movement that got you there? Alrighty. Medium, I believe. Yeah, medium. Awesome. Sweet. All right, you're up. He's still facing off with you. You can see he's got a few cuts. And one of yeah, it depends on what's coming next. Very nice. I mean, he's still standing, but he looks rough. So as you just bring down, as he's just trying to carve into your armor and not making any progress, you bring one sword strike straight across his midsection and just carve open the chest. And as he bends down, you just bash into the head, and he seems nearly dead. Nearly dead. Okay. Mm-hmm. Sure, we'll give him one chance at this. Yeah. Very easily, as you kind of spin up around the wall as he's caught off guard, you just kind of grab his shoulder and spin up and then throw him off. And he does indeed fall over and with a splash tumble into the water. Sure, go for it. Alrighty. Kha'narique. All right. Sure. It does. Oh, he passes. Yes. What? Why is it added advantage? Didn't he just attack? I mean, a 28 still hits. I was just making sure I understood that right. Okay, cool. You're good. But yeah, so 28 hits if you want to go ahead and roll that up. 43, nice. Ignoring necrotic resistance. Okay. Cool. Anything else? Perfect. So as you just release out this terrifying spell through your small sprite who hovers near him, you can see as the drow kind of takes a step back from the impact as it just carves up this massive eldritch scar that tears out part of his chest. And the quaggas are still here. The one is going to try to escape, and so he will try his best, and does manage to escape the grapple. So is no longer within the water elemental. But can't really do much else. The other one will try and make his attacks onto Kha'narique. And the first one will hit. And that's a natural 20 on the second. So Kha'narique, you'll take 5 points of slashing on the first. And 8 points of slashing on the second. And the drow immediately are going to begin to fall back after that. And these three are going to come and rush across the edge, still kind of holding crossbow bolts and firing out towards Ari this time, but making their way backwards as much as possible. So that'll be 3 attacks. Yeah, all of them just go scattered across the stone as they're mostly concerned about getting out of there. And it is Seren's turn. Yep. Alrighty. Well, he failed, so go ahead and roll me some damage. Nice. Yep. As there is this ringing out, you can see him just reach up and grab his head, and he's pulling himself even further back on the cliff. Just barely visible at this point. And the elites will... Yeah, he's going to retreat with his men and also take a shot at Ari. I don't think he was within 5 feet because those were the 2 drow were spaced 10 feet away. It's a little hard because you're in between, but all right, go ahead. As he is retreating, he kind of pulls up the blade and blocks the blow away and tries to shoot out at you instead. And that will not hit either. And the other one is going to continue to fire at Kha'narique, who seems to be quite the problem at the moment. And that one will hit. That'll be 12 points of piercing damage to Kha'narique and another Constitution saving throw. And that's a pass, so no on that one. All right. The gunslinger will bring out one more shot. Let's see. Who is he more? Yeah, he's going at the one that shot him last, so he'll take his shot at Seren. And as he goes to shoot, the pistol just implodes, the whole front just ballooning out in all directions as it puffs up in his face, and he just retreats back on the stone shelf. And at that, this drow is trying to swim upstream, and let's see how he does. Yeah, he makes some progress. And the boat begins to twist. And I need Zella and Seren to make me a dexterity saving throw as the boat twists into one of the rocks. Andrew, can you roll a dexterity saving throw for Seren? You're good. Nice. And both of you managed to stay within the ship, or within the canoe. And Zella, it is your turn. No, the one whose gun blew up in the face is no longer visible. Both, two of those attacks will hit. And as he is attempting to flee, you just fire two bolts into the back of his shoulder and he falls down unmoving. All right, what are we doing, Zannah? It is. Yep. Correct. Go for it. Well, the first one hits. And as you go up, so you take your first fist and you slam into the creature, and you lift up your second fist and go to slam in the creature, and as you let go, the boat begins to drift past you again. So 10 points to him. Alrighty. And that'll bring us to Ari. Yeah. I'm trying. Probably not, but I can just do this. That's your call. Yep. You kind of clip them on the side as they're rushing to jump over the edge. Funny you should mention that, actually. Kha'narique. Yes, that is swimming upstream. Yep. I believe they're both injured. I know. Here, hold on. Let me check. Yeah, they're both injured. They look roughly the same. A bite? Which one? Yep. All right. That hits. All right. And Seren, Zella, and Zannah all catches. Kha'narique just lifts up this creature's shoulder and just bites hard into it. And the creature itself is caught off guard a little bit as it kind of turns surprised. Yeah, that's fine. New character woes. Sure. It actually passed. But yeah, yeah, it is definitely caught off guard, and it's mostly still fighting you just because it wants you away or dead. And it will try and make a couple attacks at you. And the first one will hit. And the second one will also hit. So you'll take 9 points of slashing on the first and 4 points of slashing on the second as these claws just kind of rake at you as it's trying to get away. And then the one behind is still trying to fight the water elemental. And the water elemental is at a 14 AC, is that right? All right, so both of those will hit, but I believe are half damage, correct? Slashing. Yep, so 9 half to 4 and 6 half to 3. And then these drow will all hop over the edge and begin to retreat. And we'll say they give it one last round where they go. Just to keep it spicy, but yeah, none of those hit. And that'll bring us back to Seren. Yep. Sorry, which one? All right. Can do. Let's see if... No, not so much successful. Go ahead and roll me that damage. It is not. Alrighty. All right. Alrighty. Oh, wow. No love. Ruthless. I love it. Alrighty, Zella, you are up. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that is. Let's see. Yes. Yep. Whew. Yeah, with just as it is completely focused on Kha'narique, you just send 2 right to the back of the head and or back of the neck and finish it off as it is no longer moving. That'll bring us to Zannah. All right, give me another athletics check. Yeah, that's quite a bit better. This time you're able to solidify your form a bit more and grasp onto the canoe and pull in, and you kind of almost engulf it on its end to keep it from moving, and it does seem to have stopped. And Ari. Which one? Yes. He's swimming. There's also, well, you can't reach that one. Yeah, that's the only one kind of within your range. I mean, technically you can see this Quaggoth over here as well. Yep. It's about 20 feet. Potentially. I mean, give it a shot. All right, go for it. That will hit. Go ahead. Yeah. So go ahead and roll me. What's this? This is a D8. Yeah, go ahead and roll me an additional D8 of the slashing. Not very satisfying, but you do get a bit of a boost. Go for it. That will hit. He's still doing. He's still swimming away, trying to get away from you right now. All right, Kha'narique. Yep. All right, go for it. That is damage. That'll hit. Oh, gotcha. 6 points of piercing. All right. And this one is quite frightened of you. Yep. And with that, it is going to try and jump away just as quickly as it can. And you can make an attack of opportunity if you would like. So you go down, and as you try to bite the creature, it moves. It is just crazy how fast it hops into the water, and you get just bite into your lip and a face full of water as it splashes in heavily, and begins to crawl up the side. And that will bring us back to Seren. I mean, except for the gunslinger. Yeah, I mean, it's crawling up the side. You can still see it. That's just the Quaggoth that Kha'narique scared away. Alrighty. Okay. That is a failure. Oh no. That's so sad. Yep. It's somehow coded. Oh, they might. What kind of cleric is she? Yeah, so that should be +5. Yep. Done. All right, and he is going to take a disengage and begin to swim away from you. That is Zella. I can try and take a look. Yep. That is correct. Oops. All right, both of those will hit for 8 points of damage. Oh. All right, 13 points of damage. Alrighty. And Zannah. Alrighty. You can try and walk upstream if you want. Give me another athletics check. So this form is this is the first time you've ever used this form, and it's very difficult to get the hang of adjusting your viscous your form is to be able to hold on to things. And as you turn to kind of move in, you begin to merge with the water, and the boat begins to shift away from you once more, unfortunately. And Ari. Ari? I mean, he's still swimming. He looks beat up, but doesn't seem to be slowing down. That hits. That also hits. He's still trying to swim. I can take a few hits. Well, they do have more than 40 HP. One way to find out. As you come up, you slice into him on the back of his hips and just grab his legs and begin to pull him under the water. And there is a bubbling as you don't quite have him grappled, but you're kind of just forcing his head underneath the water. Kha'narique. He's not grappled. He's completely obfuscated by the water, though. He's underneath the waves. A touch attack would have neither. Yep. I think just disadvantage. That'll hit. Ooh. Kha'narique, how do you want to do this? Alrighty. So as this creature falls just unmoving underneath the water, as Ari, you're holding him there, the body just lets go any resistance and begins to float. And you find, as you kind of turn it over, that it is just completely skeletal and drained of all of its life force. But the boat is still drifting away. Yep. As you begin to try and move forward, Zannah, are you doing anything in your water elemental form? All right, roll me another athletics check. Hey. All right, and this time you kind of form backwards and surge underneath the boat, picking it up and carrying it back up river with you back to about where you started. We get about there. And now what are you all doing as the The combat seems to have faded for the moment. Yeah, absolutely. Are you leaving the dead Quaggoth in the bowl, or are you tossing it? So he is tossed over. And what's the duration on Aura of Purity, Andrew? Is it a minute? $10, sweet. Alrighty. All right. And with the help of the water elemental, it is slow going, but you are able to navigate up past the different obstructions in the river and eventually do make it out onto the other side. Yeah, so Kha'narique, you can catch sight of a few more of these quaggas up at the mouth of the river further upstream. Is there anything that you're doing? Alrighty. Then as you All right. And as you all begin to approach the Quaggas, anything else that you guys are doing or just sailing through? Sure, give me a persuasion check. So as you do begin to come towards this and reach past one of the obstructions and towards the other, you once again see as a hail of bolts and shots rain out, as it seems that the drow have not gone entirely, but rather just regrouped. Yep. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. On the turn, yeah, sure. But yeah, you guys haven't quite gotten that far whenever this happens. But go ahead and roll me some initiative. As we get to phase 2. Mm-hmm. Oh, I missed it. Alrighty. So let's see. We get a few attacks off. So there will be 2 on each person. Starting. So the surprise is the fact on where it's coming from. You're aware of the ones up here. I don't know. We'll roll. I'll give you guys the opportunity for a perception. If everybody wants to roll me a perception check, we'll give it a 15 or higher, and you can skip the surprise round. Nice. Not too bad, guys. Seren and Kha'narique. Alrighty. And Shield of Faith is also a 10-minute, right? Pretty sure it's 10. All right, let me get this in order then. All right. So we'll get to the elite. Okay, first attack onto Seren misses. Second one will hit. So 9 points of piercing damage to Seren and 2 con saves. So Joe, it's less of like mechanical surprise and more just who triggers combat. Because yes, you're right. Sure. I'll give you that. Okay. Unfortunately, both of them do hit onto Kha'narique. If you can go ahead and you'll take 8 total points of piercing damage, Kha'narique, and 2 con saves. And yep, both easy passes. Yeah, they are. I forgot about that. Yep, you're correct. Oh, that's a good point. Let me move them out so that we can see them now. Yep, I'll take care of that. And Zella, as this second attack begins. Go for it. Yep. Yeah, as you launch out, yeah, you kind of are caught off guard. You didn't hear, you were trying to stitch up your own wounds and didn't hear Kha'narique's call, and you are completely caught off guard. And the bolts that you kind of try to spin around and fire them off, and they just hit and scatter across the stone. All right, and that'll bring us to Zannah. All right, go ahead and give me an athletics check. Hey. And without much trouble, you just pull, after getting quite a bit of experience, learning how to maneuver this boat through the first set of obstacles, you just pull it forward and jam it into the corner. And that'll bring us to the Quaggas, who begin to swim out. And 1, 2, yep. They can all get there as they begin to swarm across the water elemental. So they should be surrounding you. So they might, actually, what's their, they're pretty, no, they're not. They are not, they're in the water. We'll say that one of them, did get within your space. Does that happen on your turn or on their turn? What does the ability say? Yeah, what does it say? Is it under the actions? Okay, so that's something that you have to do on your turn. The last time it happened just because of what was happening on your turn. Alrighty. So they will get a round of attacks. And what's the water elemental's AC again? All right. But within the water, none of them do hit. And so Ari, that'll bring us to you. Or you said you wanted Joe to go first? All right, Kha'narique. You would have heard a kind of command of actually you speak Undercommon, yeah? Yeah, you would have essentially heard something akin to now from over in this direction. Hmm? Sure. Yeah. Give me an intimidation check. And Kha'narique, what are you doing specifically? Alrighty. You can see an immediate change in demeanor, but we will see the effect of that on their turn. Ari. Yeah, that makes sense. No movement or anything? All right, anything for Seren? Mm-hmm. All right. And there are a few of the elites who seem to, at least at first, fire a few bolts at Ari, and one of them does hit. Ari, you're gonna take 8, reduced down to 5 piercing, and I need a Constitution saving throw. Actually, 2 of them. Yes. So advantage on the first one. Yeah. Yep. 10. Yep. Alrighty. Then spurred on by magic and the moment, you see as the drow begin to kind of hold up and pull back, calling back their troops as all of them begin to fold back into the stone ledges where they hold their ambush, and even calling back the quaggas that are sent out. They were already debating whether or not they were going to try to attack you again, and that pushed them over the edge. They did not say anything. You would have caught essentially the one who was targeted by your suggestion. Immediately pulled his troops back, and the other 2 that you could see were kind of took a moment and then kind of followed suit without any words. They didn't give you any indication. Zella. All right. And Zannah? You are currently surrounded by these beasts, but they seem to be turning their attention away from you. Absolutely. Alrighty. And with that, indeed, they do move out of the way, and you are able to pull the boat forward. And for the next few minutes, You begin to pull the boat upstream, getting closer and closer to Skullport. Though eventually, your form does fade away, and you do revert back into your old form. And you all do have the hydra bone paddles, though, and push up into Skullport. Roll me a perception check. That's still a 1. So it's a 6. No, she did not recognize any of the drow that she could see. Though she did recognize that there was a drow attack on her companions, including her drow friend. Though they attack specifically did not target them when they passed through. The drow did attack them on their way down as well. Whoops. All right, so back within Skullport, what would you all like to do there? Just yeah, roll me an investigation check. Yes, you're the one who's looking into it. You try to ask a few questions of some of the sailors in the nearby tavern where you all are getting a drink, and they kind of just curse under their breath. Damn drow. Damn adventurers. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. So there is indeed a few different places. There's like a pawn shop type place that is known as Thimblewine's Pawn Shop. There is also, it seems that there is, let's see. There is the poisoned quill. And that is more of a gossip type location, but there's kind of whispers of magic happening there. And then there is also, where is the reagent place that you were talking about? The night. Wait, is that? Thought it was. Yeah, it is. It's the Nightshade's Caress. Which displayed in the window are various herbs, elixirs, vials, and baskets of fungi. The Nightshade's Caress. So you walk into a pretty simple building with a long green counter that curves around. Dozens of different ingredients and things for sale dot the counter. And sitting behind it in an old wooden rocking chair, just rocking ever so slightly, is this withered old crone of a woman with long gray strands of hair and just breaking skin and wrinkles, dark sunken eyes that are barely visible over a black cloak and hood pulled tightly over her face. And she just calls out, "Yes, what can I do for you today?" There was once a time where I looked as beautiful as you, but those years are far gone. Oh, you can call me Nightshade. Indeed. Would you like a caress? And the old woman holds up a curled, cracking hand. Mm-hmm. She gives kind of a bit of a scoff, and turn of her head slightly upward as she looks over. All you adventuring types trying to survive down here. I'll tell you what I told the others. All the diamonds have been taken by those monstrous creatures on the island. They've hoarded them all within their castle. If you want any diamonds, you'll have to go through them. And they're not going to give them up easily. As you wish. There's just an echoing of her laugh as you close the door behind you. Can't we all? It is at a yeah, the tavern slash inn there is called the Guts and Garters. All right, you make your way from the top of Skullport down to the lower levels and into the familiar tavern. However, the tavern is slightly unfamiliar at this point. Rather than having the bright, voluptuous, and ever endeavored quietude serving drinks at the bar, this time it seems that she is absent. And instead, it seems to be some sort of replacement who is clearly much more inept at running things behind or with quietude gone. And you can see that the general attendance and or patronage is significantly lessened since you were here last. He's kind of an older man, sort of gaunt with a large beer belly, some black hair on the top with that grays down as it reaches his sideburns, and a peppered black and gray mustache that is turned up just barely at the ends. Kind of in a long barkeep smock as he's rushing from place to place trying to make these complicated orders and keeps seemingly getting them wrong. What can I get you? You're very funny. You got a drink order? All right, so you make your way back towards Ulvira Snowvein's pet shop and kind of knock on the door. And there does not seem to be an answer. You kind of look over in the window and you see a closed sign that is turned in the small display window. Any unique jewelry? Let's see. I have to go find my thing to see. Yep. Sorry, I was just looking up, trying to figure out where I have this information, or if I have this information. Oh, that was way creepier than I described it. Yeah, I'll say that you would have seen around her neck kind of a silver medallion, especially since you spent time with her and saw more so than not. She normally keeps it tucked into kind of the bodice of whatever she's wearing, but you would have seen a silver medallion with a harp on it. You do not register it on your spell. All right, how long are you spending on this? All right, so kind of quickly doing a lap, leaving everyone else in the tavern, you kind of run along the edges of the town, get some mean looks. Some people kind of step between alleys, and you kind of trying to avoid a fight for now. Go around, and doesn't seem as the spell fades that across the 10 minutes as you try to travel as much of the city as you can that it's picking up anything. You did not hear any animal sounds. Yes, actually, you guys have seen before that there are a couple of different bars. One that is pretty much entirely just for Duergar. And then another one that is a bit of it seems to be just filled with drow, actually. You kind of like take a step in and immediately all eyes kind of turn towards you, or not even in. Last time you were here, you took a step in and all eyes turned towards you. And so you guys know the building, but obviously giving it a wide berth after recent events for now, at least. There's, as you guys give it maybe 30-45 minutes, especially after Ari taking a lap around trying to find Ulvira, there's not too many people in here. There's most of the patronage has their drinks and has their orders. There's a few at the counter who are kind of giving him complex orders, trying to help more so than anything, or trying to rather get the thing that they like and want without much success. He more so was just seemed curt and not wanting to banter, but it seems like there's enough space in there to talk to him. What? And he kind of like dribbles over some of the thing that he's trying to pour and kind of curses to himself and kind of shifts it away and is like, oh, I need a break. What did you say? My bar? No, I'm just covering for Q. Too long. Feel like I'm indebted to her for everything I own. What's it to you anyway, though? What's it to you? Money talks around here. Well, I'm intrigued with coin. You pass me some coin, I might be able to connect you with her. Done. He takes out a random bottle, not even looking, and just takes out 2 glasses and just pours in half and half and kind of sets it down and slides one over to you. 10 silver. You're a pretty girl. What's a pretty girl like you doing with all these questions, eh? If you need a warm bed to sleep in, you're always welcome to mine, Toots. He kind of downs the rest of his drink and just kind of waves it up to somebody at the bar to get him another one. And he kind of sighs and goes around the counter and pulls out another bottle, setting it down. All right. Let me think. Well, I've been here about a few years down in this city, and I'd known Q the whole time. It took a while, but eventually we got on all right. Then all of a sudden, I don't know, a few days ago, says that she's got to rush off on some important mission. Just leaves the whole place to me. Just the damn dog in the back, and kind of points back to where you can see this, what almost looks like a very large blackened dog, but as it breathes, seeming to be sleeping, you just see these embers pulse out of its nose and just this glow from underneath it, as if it is laying on a bed of coals. It was very cautious of you. I would never say that it befriended you. I think it looks over the bar better than I can, but somebody's got to serve the drinks, right? So Q heads off, and I'm stuck in this place the whole time. And the whole place has been crawling with dark elves as of late. Seems like they've been taking over. Something must have happened down on the lower levels, but there's hordes and hordes of them that keep pouring in. Lots of scouts. Lots of them visiting the flagon and the dragon. Talking to Carl. And of course, the dang island is just the same as it always has been, at least as far as I've been down here. Ain't no change. They gathered up all the valuables out of this town as soon as the Dask moved in. They've owned that island since, who knows how long. I'm sure the drow might be interested in taking it over, but I wouldn't trust them as far as I can throw them. Now, why would I ever need to concern myself with the nasty dark elves when I got such a beautiful young woman right here? I think you may have had one too many there, Toots. It seems as soon as you curse, his demeanor changes. He's like, "No, hey, you want to go up to my room?" Hey, didn't you say you wanted to? Never mind. I don't know what you're talking about. I see this as a conversation that is actually happening as Ari is kind of like whispering to Kha'narique as you all are talking to him around the table. He turns around from where he was. Are you talking to me again? Oh, it's all right. I'll have some up in the bedroom tonight. I'll have you know, I won for. And he just falls face first on the table. Roll me a history check. There's only about 3-4 people in the bar at this point. None of them really look super familiar. There's kind of one person who looks kind of like a sailor, a few thuggish individuals, and one dwarf just kind of sitting up on the keg, just drinking away. What are you asking? That's a good question. Oh. Oh, Seren speaks Dwarvish. uh all right. In the meantime, what are the rest of you guys doing? He's pretty well passed out at the moment. Nobody, the few patrons in there seem to be either helping themselves or finishing off their current beverage. No. The dog in the corner seems to have everyone in line, whether or not the owner or current overlooker is conscious. All the rooms are on the top floor, so currently you can't see any of them. But if you go to take a look up there, it's not terribly obvious at first glance. They seem relatively similar. Yeah, so he immediately kind of sits up and looks around and just like, huh? What? What? Did one of you all knock me out? Hey, get away from the bar. No free drinks. And kind of moves over and begins shooing people away. Roll me a persuasion check at advantage. Nope. There it is. Yeah. He turns to you all. He's like, oh, yeah, I can. Here, let me go on lock them. You need 1 or 2? What does we say? Our head's a little fuzzy. I mean, he feels restored. He's saying his head is fuzzy because he can't remember parts of what happened. But yeah, he leads you all up to 2 rooms and unlocks them, kind of motioning you all towards them. Towards the end of the hall. Again, the tavern's pretty empty. There's only maybe 1 or 2 other rooms occupied. Just cover your bases.
Ari, what do you know about my people?
If I said nothing, that would maybe overestimate it.
We are much scarier in these stories than we really are.
I'm
I'm
gonna be
not
honest,
going
I'm not
to
sure
eat you.
what your people are.
I will flash a very, very toothy grin. The how you say the vampire. This is a children's story. We are the people behind that, and we are much less of concern.
Mm-hmm.
That you see, we get our sustenance not even from blood. That is just a side effect. We get our sustenance from intense emotion, from pain, from rapture, from things of that nature. So watch this. Hold out your hand.
No. Wisdom check too high.
No, I assure you, no harm will come to you.
Alright, wisdom check low enough.
And just a little pinch, just enough for you to wince. And look at this, watch. And you see just that kind of tether form. Is it that is my alternative to when you eat food or you drink wine. That is how I sustain myself. That is how I keep my eternal beauty.
Seems like a sad substitute.
Oh, it
You
is
ever had
rather...
food?
I have. I can eat it just fine. I still enjoy the taste. it just does not provide me energy the way that your insides provide you energy. That all of these intense emotions will do the same. That you were laughing about a dry spell. My people are exactly the opposite. That is like a nice feast in comparison. We also attach about as much meaning to it, if that makes sense. Which is why the old guts and the old garters would not have offended me. You drink a sour ale, I fuck a sour man. Do you follow? We are
No.
we are not to be afraid of. We are just like you in terms of the desires, the pleasures, but we are not the monsters from the story. And I will not eat you.
Again, the rule is no eating anyone, not just me. I want to be very clear about that.
I assure you, no persons will be eaten in our travels together.
He looks at you somewhat skeptically still.
I will flash a really toothy grin.
I'm not sure if that's helping.
It's not supposed to. It's creepy. It's unsettling.
Should I give the boys the grizzle off of my chicken?
Of course, they have earned it. They are the most good of boys.
Kato did earn it. He actually went running with me today. Skippy was kind of a lazy piece of shit.
That happens. My roommate refused to run too. She did squat though. Hella.
Hella? How much is hella?
6 6s.
6 6s.
Yep.
How heavy were the 6 6s?
70% plus 5.
Ooh.
So yeah, it's a 6-6 at 70. We'll get into this after the game.
Yeah,
But
no, you took
she
it
was
right on.
fantastic.
But yeah, if you guys are all ready to take your long rest, then we'll go ahead and wrap it up there, as we're just about at time, and we will pick up with you all completing your long rest, so you guys can go ahead and take your HP and your spell slots back, and if you so desire, you can look into how to approach potentially gaining some diamonds from the fortress on Skullport Island. And we'll catch you with that next week. See you then.
I think
yeah.
that's the goal if you're good with that.